So I don't know about you, but one of the biggest pain points for me as I was starting my business was figuring out what the heck to name it. So in this video, I'm going to go through some things that I took into consideration as I came up with the name The Business Recruiter. I'll be sure to also include some tips that will be helpful for you, so you'll want to be sure to stick around. Okay, so when you're thinking about starting a business, the name is going to be one of those things where you might actually end up spending more time on it than what you really need to. So I want to help you a bit in terms of thinking through how to go about coming up with a name that is going to sit well with you as well as your potential client. So I want to break this down into really two parts. The first part being the creative side, which is just the fun process of actually coming up with the name. And then there's also the legal side of things. If you're thinking about leveraging your name in terms of starting your LLC, then making sure or taking a few steps to make sure that your business name is available within your state, as well as even potentially looking to see if there's any trademarks associated with your name are going to be extremely important. Now, huge disclaimer here, as always, I am not providing any legal advice at all in this video. I am in no way, shape, or form a lawyer. So as always, as I mentioned in every video pertaining to anything legal, always seek counsel if necessary. So in terms of the creative side of things, there's a couple of different ways that you can go about looking at this. One of the things that will be easy for you in terms of potentially coming up with a name is taking a look at where it actually is that you'll be recruiting at, or where it is that you're currently located. So for me, I'm located in Washington State. I could easily try to come up with a name based on the geographical area where I'm at. The other thing that you want to take into consideration is the industry that you're in. So keep in mind that you are in the recruiting industry, which means that you want your name somehow, some way to let your clients know that that is the industry that you're a part of. So whether that's using the name recruiting in your name, search in your name, placement in your name, staffing in your name, you want that to be somewhere. That way clients can easily look at your name and know exactly what it is that you do in terms of the industry that you're in. Now, I do want to add a disclaimer there. You don't want to niche down your name as much. If you created a name such as Nursing Staffing Solutions, at that point, you're limiting yourself to only focusing on nursing. And what if you decide down the line that you want to take on another industry? It would be really hard for your clients who, let's say, are potentially in the tech industry to want to work with you. And then lastly, if you get to a point where you feel like you've gone through everything that you possibly can in terms of thinking of ideas associated with a name, then I would say one of the last defaults that you can do is using your last name and then just simplifying it in terms of the industry that you're in. So if for me, if I didn't come up with the Business Recruiter, I could have did something to the effect of Bates Placement Solutions. Now, there are a few things that I want to bring to your attention in terms of cautions that you should take when you're thinking about a name. And the first one I've already stated, but I'm going to go ahead and state it again. And this one is in regards to niching down too much. You don't want to niche down to the point where you don't have any opportunities in the future in regards to expanding your business. So keeping it general and straight to the point is going to be your best bet. The only industry that you want to focus on is the fact that you're in the recruiting industry. The next thing is that you don't want to overcomplicate your name. You want it to be something that's going to be simple and very easy to remember. You want your clients to view your name as being notable. So something that's going to be easy for them to remember is going to serve you well, not only from the standpoint of thinking about the fact that your name more than likely will be associated with your domain name, but it'll also be associated with your email address. So your domain name will be a portion of your business email address. With that being stated, you want to make sure that you keep your email as simple as possible. Okay, now in terms of the legal side of things, one thing that I like to always check when I'm looking through potential names for my business, or at least for the business recruiter, was to see if it was available within my state in terms of actually starting an LLC. Now, granted, you can go about establishing your business in whatever way works best for you, so no legal advice there, but that's one thing that I took into consideration as I was thinking about the perfect name for my business. So I want to go through the process of exactly what I used when I was looking for ideas in terms of generating my name, as well as the site that I leveraged in order to check if my domain name was available. And then lastly, the site that I checked or leveraged in order to see if there was a trademark that was associated with my name. For the sake of this example, since I know that what my name is already, let's just go with Washington Search Solutions as the name that we're going to go through. But let's say that you didn't know that you wanted to actually name your business Washington Search Solutions. One of my favorite online generators is Nameless. And Nameless essentially is a artificial intelligence tool where you can enter in keywords and it'll populate various names for you. So I love to use it. When I was using it and thinking about starting the business recruiter, I typed in a variety of keywords. As you can see, recruiting has popped up here, but you can type in any number of keywords here in order to generate or populate name options for you. For the sake of this example, just so I can show you how it works, I'm going to go ahead and go with recruiting since it's already in here. And then you have the option to either look at short names, medium names, or long names. Keep in mind that this is really associated with the amount of letters that are in your name. I caution you to focus on names that are going to be short to medium, just because it's going to be easier for your clients to remember, as well as keeping in mind the length of your email address. So I'm just going to uncheck long names here. And then I'm going to go to name style before I hit generate. And you have a couple different options here, and you can toggle between however many you want to leverage or use. So there's brandable names, there's multiple words, there's compound words, and it gives you examples of really what each of those are. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and let's just hit brandable names and see what the tool generates for us. So I'm going to click generate. Okay, so as you can see, it's generated a couple different names based on our keyword of recruiting. There's also some that come with like logo ideas as well. These are considered to be premium names on Nameless. And basically what these premium names are is it's already telling you that they already have a brandable presence as far as not only social media is concerned, but also just your overall online presence. And the fact that these domain names also have a hefty price tag associated with them. As you can see, if we hover over Up Recruiting over here, this domain is available and it is for sale, but it's going to be almost $2,000. So just keep that in mind as you're going through and you're thinking about exactly what your budgeted startup costs are for starting your business. So if you scroll down, there are a couple different ideas here in terms of the names that it generated for you. And keep in mind, if you're not seeing anything that you like, or something doesn't really resonate with you, you can always go back to creating more names or changing up your results a little bit. So let's see what rhyming words brings us, and then we'll hit generate. Okay, so it brought up a couple different names here based on us changing our criteria. Recruit Pool seems like a cool name, but once again, it's a premium domain. There's a couple of different things in here that might be options for you, and keep in mind that you don't necessarily have to go with the names that are listed within here. You can literally get an idea from here and then add your own spin to it. So after I've checked for a name, remember that in the beginning of this example, I stated that we're going to go with Washington Search Solutions just to make it easy. So I like to go to GoDaddy.com in order for me to figure out if the domain name or the business idea name that I have is already taken. So we said Washington Search Solutions. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and type in here. And then we're going to hit search domain. And then as we can see, WashingtonSearchSolutions.com is available. Now, one of the things that I do want to point out is that when you're looking for your domain name to see that if it's available or not, .com tends to be the most popular. I think everyone knows that most websites end up ending in .com. However, there are others out there. So .net, .co, .io. There's so many different ones out there. So if you search your name and let's say that the .com version of your name is not available, you can always take a look and see if potentially the .net or .co or any others are available. And if you're okay with that, you can move forward with purchasing that domain name versus the .com. So the next thing that you want to check is to see if your business name that you have chosen is available in terms of you starting an LLC or just any form of a business within your particular state where you reside. So I am in Washington State, so I am on the Secretary of State's website, and this is their business search where I can search various business names that are listed. So we are going to look for Washington Search Solutions, which pops up there. And then we are going to scroll down and we're going to hit search. And as you can see, there's no records that showed for this particular name. So if I were to say that I wanted to start a recruiting agency and I wanted the name to be Washington Search Solutions, I now know that my domain name is available and it's available for .com, so I can purchase that. And I also know that because I live in Washington State and that's where I want to start my business, that it is available in terms of my state as well. Now, the last thing that you want to check is the trademark website, just to see if your name has been trademarked in any way, shape, or form. Now, I doubt that Washington Search Solutions has, but we're going to go ahead and check. So we're going to type in the name here, and then we're just going to hit submit query. And as we can see, there are no trademark records for Washington Search Solutions. So I now know that all of the aspects of my check in terms of determining if this name is going to be the best name to go with has passed. So I have my domain, I know that I can register it in my state, and then I also know that there are no trademarks associated with it, which is a good sign. So there are a couple things that I want to leave you with before I end this video. And the first thing is that you don't want to make this an extremely long process. Do not have analysis paralysis as you're going through trying to figure out a name. This should not only be a fun process, but a very simple one. So if you're spending longer than, let's say, 5 days on trying to figure out what your business name is, you're doing it completely wrong. Take a step back, really think through what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and then start. This whole entire process in terms of determining your name should not take longer than 5 days. And honestly, you have other aspects of your business that you'll need to focus on, and this is literally so minor compared to all of those other aspects. The next thing is, if it's helpful for you, you want to ask your professional network that you trust what their opinion is in regards to your name. Not only do you need to feel good about your name, but you also want those potential clients to feel good about your name as well. So ask those individuals who you trust that are within your professional network what their thoughts are. That'll be extremely important for you as you take into consideration if the name that you have chosen is really truly the right name to go with. The next thing is to keep in mind that you're going to build your brand off of this name, so you have to feel good about it. Do not just choose a name for the sake of choosing a name. Make sure it's something that resonates with you and has some type of meaning to you, because ideally at the end of the day, in terms of you determining what or working towards your online presence, and working towards having a social media presence, if that's what you choose to do with your business, which I do 100% believe you should, then you want to make sure that you feel good about the brand that you're building around your name. And my last note for you is to keep this process fun. It's supposed to be fun. If you have a hard time being creative in terms of this process, then definitely leverage the tools that are available to you, such as an online business name generator or even talking to friends or professionals within your network. This process is supposed to be fun, so have fun with it. Do not let it stress you out. Okay, so that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed the content. If you did, then make sure to give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to join my Facebook group. Maybe you're curious about the name that you've chosen and you really want some input from some other recruiting professionals. If that's the case, then join my group and we'll be more than happy in that group to assess your name and give you some honest feedback. I'll be sure to leave that link down below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.